Paz! You're looking, well, pretty happy today? Yeah, no? Just gonna stand there, ignoring me. Are you even aware I'm here? Alright. I wonder what she actually thinks about. Okay! You scare me. Hello, my fellow hunters all! I hope you are enjoying very muchly your title updatedly, thrilly, adventures. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I, of course, am too, but is it bad that perhaps the most exciting single thing to get added in Title Update 3, for me, is a single text box, almost perhaps throwaway line from a certain Paz about what she and the Chevaliers have been up to, and the reason that you need to go fight Chaotic Gormagala instead of her. So of course when you first get the update, she wants to speak to you, and she's like, oh, just the person I was looking for, because she sings her lines. I'll spare you the rest of it going like that, but you know, we need to talk, got the thing, but we're busy, can you go do it? It's not a normal go. And then she gets a little bit psychopathic. No. And you agree to go hunt. Okay, so that's interesting. Why would the Chevaliers, one of the arguably best hunting teams in Elgato, not be dispatched to deal with Chaotic? They must be doing something perhaps equally or at least more important or dangerous. Anyway, we go, you know, annihilate a Gormagala. And then we return to her, and this is where she says something rather excitingly interesting. As a thanks for being so lovely and dealing with their problems, or in her words, thanks for being a sweetheart! Sorry, I lied about doing that further, it's very compelling. She lets us in on the knowledge that the Chevaliers have been investigating the monster that destroyed Todori's hometown, the same place that Kagero and Yomogi come from. Let me repeat that once more time for emphasis. We have been investigating the monster that destroyed Todori's hometown. The same place that Kagero and Yomogi come from. Sorry, we're out of audio budget. I had to do a manual echo there. So, you might be sat there going, okay, that's great, I suppose. Why is that exciting exactly? I mean, it's interesting, I guess. Well, I will tell you. Of course I will tell you. Otherwise, this video would be pointless. A while ago, Monster Hunter released a certain little story to do with a certain little Kagero and a certain little Yomogi. Literally, little in Yomogi's case. And it was a story of what happened to Yomogi as a baby, how they ended up in Kimura Village, what actually went down. Now, I very much heartily recommend you go check out that video to get the full context on this and my telling of the story. It is incredibly emotional, it is sad, it is heartbreaking. But essentially they come from a kingdom. They come from a place that was destroyed. Yomogi as a baby was, well, bundled away by Kagero in an attempt to save her life as her home was being ravaged by an unknown disaster, a great calamity, a monster of, well, monstrous power. She lost both her parents, she became an orphan, despite still technically being a princess, as the heir to a now destroyed and long forgotten throne, at least long forgotten to most people, certainly not to Kagero, who holds himself to a promise to Yomogi's late mother that he will watch over her and keep her safe for as long as he is able to. It really is, as I said, incredibly tragic. But, as I speculated back then, I have a feeling that they're not just going to throw out this story that has such important reveals and connotations just kind of randomly. Surely it's going to have a little bit of a tie-in, and then we can look back at it and go, ah! And this just completely, well, reinforces that. It is a slam dunk. In what world would Paz tell us that the Chevaliers are busy hunting down the monster that destroyed Kagero and Yomogi's home if it wasn't wasn't going to be relevant in-game in the future of Sunbreak, when coupled with the fact that they specifically went out their way to tell the story of what happened to Kagero and Yomogi's hometown for us to, well, enjoy and wonder upon. Of course, the actual monsters never named, only hinted at, only described, and it is in that description that we find some seriously delicious clues. You all know it by now, but those clues point to AMATSU, known as the Great Calamity, so that lines up. The only other candidates for what this story tells of would be Ibushi and Naoa, a Rampage-like situation, but the timelines don't line up. I said that before. Yomogi is still a child. It happened rarely recently. Rampages are every 50 years. It's not a rampage. This is its own different beast. And then all of this coupled together, this story, the fact that the details of how it's explained, the monster, what happens, all line up and match with AMATSU. Storms, displacing monsters like AMATSU did the Zenogre, causing them to act erratically, having this floating, flying, graceful dragon, the Great Calamity. Everything paints that beautiful flying serpent of a dragon's picture. And then we get the Title Update 3 trailer, which gives us a new updated roadmap for the future, and lo and behold, right square smack bang in the middle, there is Elder Dragon. Not powered up monster, not variant, not rare species, Elder Dragon. This is telling us loud and clear that we are getting a monster that does not have a representation in Sunbreak already. We're not getting a version of something that already exists. We are getting a new, or perhaps newly returning, Elder Dragon. And, oh, that is exciting. So, let me break it down for you. What are the facts? What are the hard, cold facts? Number 1, we are getting a new Elder Dragon in the next title update. Number 2, Paz is hinting at us at a monster that has destroyed Kagero and Yomogi's hometown, and that they're investigating it. Number 3, we have the story of Kagero and Yomogi's hometown and what happened to it. So, you combine all of those together, and again, you get that AMATSU-shaped picture. Now, it is entirely possible that it will be a new dragon that commands wind, and it's just kind of a, oh, we made it look like AMATSU, but surprise, it's a completely new creation. That is entirely possible. It's also entirely possible that they're still going to investigate, investigate for a whole other title update. Title update 4 will buy more time, this new Elder Dragon will be completely unconnected, and then title update 5 will also have a new Elder Dragon, and that will be the one that destroyed Kagero and Yomogi's hometown. But it would seem to me that the way to look at this is that the climax of Sunbreak, the Fatalis equivalent update, is going to thematically and beautifully tie both Rise and Sunbreak together by giving us a monster that fits Elgato, because Elgato investigating it, because of the Dr. Todori, who is an Elgato character that's also connected to this, but also bring Kimura Village from base Rise, because Kagero and Yomogi are connected to this, so it would be a reason for both villages, both outposts, to come together, to work together. You can get both sets of NPCs involved in story cutscenes, and that's really lovely because everyone is invested. Both Rise and Sunbreak are invested. It kind of ties it all up into a nice little bow, and now that I say that, this makes me think it is actually going to be Title Update 5, if there is going to be a 5th one. I should more accurately say, it makes me think it's going to be the final Title Update, because an AMATSU, or, Mystery Wind Dragon on Fatalis's Iceborne majestic level, not necessarily, power-wise, but how well it's done, how big it feels, how big of a deal it is, a new map, a new monster, something wondrous and incredible beyond anything a new subspecies or variant could give us. I mean, that just works, does it not? That just makes sense. That is just beautiful. It's poetic. Rise, Kimura, Sunbreak, Elgato, characters from both connected to an important event in the past that brings back one of the most loved monsters in the greatest form it's ever been to us, and we get to hunt it and have this really, meaningful climax to our entire experience in the Wirebug world. It just kind of makes me excited thinking about it. Basically, I would put a lot of money on the big title update that ends Rise and Sunbreak, if not title update 4, is going to be the monster that is connected to Kagero, Yomogi, and Todori, and if I had to label the monster, I would go with AMATSU, as that by far matches everything we know about it out of everything that exists, with an outside chance of it being a completely new invented wind-based dragon. Oh, I hope all of that came across well. Sorry, it is addicting doing this stuff. It really is, but God, it's exciting. In any case, let me know what you guys think when it comes to this perhaps revelation. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.